Good morning. This is Justin back with an engineer's perspective. And today I've got these two beauties right here. These are the Gen3 M12 Milwaukee hammer drill and impact driver. We're going to be talking about this guy today though. Set you aside. So as I said, this is Milwaukee's third generation M12 fuel hammer drill, model number 3404. Just gonna go over some real quick specs. We've got a 1/2 inch metal chuck there. We've got a mechanical clutch, 12 settings plus drill and a hammer mode, 2 speeds, 2 and 1. Speed 2 is at 1550 RPM. I believe speed 1 is around that 450 mark. What else to say on this guy? Sporting about 400 inch-pounds is what is advertised for the torque spec on this guy. Yeah, that's pretty much the quick specs. Let's take a weight real quick on it. Bare naked, we've got 2 pounds, 2.4 ounces with a 5.0 high output. We've got 3 pounds, 1.3 ounces. And with a CP 2.0, 2 pounds, 8.7 ounces. So for a compact drill, it's got some heft to it for sure. And then last but not least, some quick measurements. 6 1/4 inches long, 8 inches tall to the back, about 9 1/4 to the nose. I suppose thickness, we've got about 2 1/8 at the back. So that kind of gives you a rough idea of where this is landing in terms of size and weight. So you can see I've got the M12 impact driver next to it. The impact driver is definitely smaller, but this is one small little mean machine, I gotta tell you. So let's start diving into kind of showing you guys what it can do and just talk about it. Before we do that though, I'm just gonna tell you up front, I love this drill. This drill is fantastic. I've had it for a year now. It's probably the one I grab the most often right now. Can it oftentimes, even in outrageous situations, get the job done? It usually can, to be honest. I don't really recommend that. I don't recommend pushing tools so far beyond what they're really intended for, because that's how you make mistakes, or just not have quite as a quality of an install, because you're having to really put your part in to not break your wrist or screw something up. But it's very, very good. Plenty of power for everyday jobs for sure. Everything except for maybe driving the biggest screws in the wettest pine, or drilling the big hole saws, especially like the 6-inch holes in drywall for like lights. That's not a very good idea with this. Will it do that? It will. But is it a good idea? No, it's just really not. But that said, let's give her a go. So I've just got some kiln dried pine, 5.0 high output, full bars. Let's just start out driving some bigger screws just so you can kind of see the speed. Let's get it started. Come on. Here we go. That was speed 2. Now just so you can see what speed 1 looks like. This is a 3 1/8 inch number 9 GRK. So does a great job on that. I also wanted to show off something smaller. We've got a 1 1/4 number 8 Stax screw here. Let's try out the clutch. I'm not sure what the right setting is. We'll go with 7. You can hear that mechanical clutch, which I forgot to mention. speed 1. So you can see, just a little bit proud. I'll go to speed 8, although now I'm in speed 2, so we'll see if that screws it up. But the Gen 2, perfect. The Gen 2 drill had that electric chuck, which was a love-hate for me. Mostly hate, like 99% hate. And I really appreciate the mechanical clutch on this, and it's really good. And with the improved trigger control on this Gen 3 over the Gen 2 hammer drill, and mechanical chuck, I have a very good luck setting these smaller fasteners and not stripping them out of the wood and such. So that's a huge improvement over the last generation. Moving on, let's try something a little bit bigger. So we've got an 1.5" Diablo spade bit here. Another thing I forgot to mention is part of the way they got this drill so compact is they have a pretty small little metal chuck on this. It's actually extra short, and so when you're inserting something into there, you'll bottom out and you'll think something is wrong with it. And I still do that where I'm like, oh, but no, it's just really shallow. When it was new, wasn't sure if that was going to be an issue with things slipping. I'll report now, I have never, not once, had anything slip out of this chuck. So it's plenty of depth to really grab onto something. And the ratcheting chuck works fantastic. Another upgrade over the Gen 2 is it has much better like knurling and texture on here, so you can get a good grip on it. It's a lot smoother than the previous generation, which is just what I expect from a drill. It's very good chuck. All right, let's drill a hole into this guy here. Keep it from taking off on me, or at least attempts to. All right, so the 5.0 high output, 4 bars in drill mode. We're gonna try speed 2 with this 1.5" speed demon. Hold on tight. Contact. I don't want to go through my bench, but I think that tells the whole story. We're down to right about there. That was in speed 2, ladies and gents. Very impressive, very impressive. I want to dial it back here to the CP 2.0, 4 bars. This is going to be the weakest battery you're going to see in this. I wanted to do this so if this is what you're expecting to use it for, it's because this is how you like to run it, compact in your bag, you kind of know what to get out of this. So we're going to do the same exact thing we just did. I'm going to go less deep though. Contact. So there you go. That's the speed 2. Bring it down to speed 1 and let's see what it can do. So the farther I'm gonna go. So you saw that in speed 1, the 2.0 can drive an 1.5" spade bit. To me, that means you're gonna be able to make any hole you need to make with this guy in terms of spade bits. Moving on to the next thing, go back to the big guy. This is a 1/2" chuck, meaning any of your hole saws with your big end on it are gonna fit. So we're gonna try out this 2" hole saw we got. So 5.0 and speed 1. This is a pretty worn in hole saw, I'll add. So what I'm showing you is me leaning into it. I'm putting my weight on that. Let's go to speed 2 and see what it can do. Okay, I'm not gonna go all the way through. The point being, incredibly powerful drill. Now you can put a lot of your body weight on a 2-inch hole saw. It's just all clogged up, need to be cleared out, whatever. That can do 1.5 inch spade bit in speed 2 with a big battery, or in speed 1 with a 2.0. That has a sensitive enough clutch to do 1 inch and 1/4 number 8 screws without stripping them out. And that can do bigger screws like the GRK 3 1/8 inch number 9s, and it just sank those no problem, didn't have to think about it. Hey, it's future me. Completely forgot to do any of the concrete drilling testing. So we're gonna do that now, or demonstration rather. So I have the M12 SDS rotary hammer that we're gonna pit the hammer drill up against. They both have a 6-inch carbide tip masonry bit with the 2 cutting facets on both of them. I've still got the 5.0 high output with full batteries. We're gonna be in speed 2 hammer mode. And then for the SDS, I've got it in a hammer and rotary mode. I've got a 6.0 with 3 bars. We're just gonna race them so you can see how long it takes to do this guy and what you're gaining with the M12 rotary. So let's give it a go. This is the only floor I'm willing to drill for you guys. So 3, 2, 1. Stop. Okay. And what we're drilling here, this is 55-year-old poured concrete floor in my basement. So you can see on the SDS, we pretty much buried it all 6 inches. See how hot that is? Okay, it's not very... Okay, so you can see on the hammer drill, we only made it about 1 inch. So in the hard concrete, maybe takes 5 times longer. And that sounds about right from kind of my experiences. Next, we're gonna do some precast concrete and masonry. And long story short, as you're gonna see, this is gonna be a lot more comparable in the softer stuff. Think brick, any other precast stuff. So we'll go take a look at that. Okay, here we are, just about 1 minute later. I've got a precast concrete block here, like $2 from Home Depot. We're gonna give that a whirl with the same exact setup as before. You can see what that looks like. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Okay, we just hit my bench, so we'll stop there. So you can see that this was a lot closer. So the fuel, the SDS pretty much buried it. But we've got here on the hammer drill, roughly, I mean, we've got about 1.5 inches sticking out. So we got about 1.5 inches in versus, you know, that far in. So on these precast members, they're a little bit closer. What to take from that is if you're going to be drilling into brick and things of that nature, you're going to be just fine with this. Especially, I mean, this is small bits, 3/16. We're talking Tapcons right now. But you can do small wedge anchors. If you're getting up into the realm of like 1/2 inch bits, you can do it in the softer material, but it's going to take a very, very long time, but it's doable. Whereas with the hard stuff like we did at first, don't attempt that. I wouldn't recommend it. It's definitely going to shorten the life of your drill. Probably can do it, but it's just not going to be a good idea. It's going to take you minutes per hole to drill into the harder poured concrete. So anyways, back to the rest of the video. So it's got a lot of driving and drilling range there. Where it's really gonna suffer, and I don't have my temp gun, is it gets really hot. And so the big limitation in my mind for this drill And it's not what it's meant for, is it can't do the extended tasks. You know, it'll drill your 1 2-inch hole, which I love that. I love having an option of, I brought this and I've got 1 heavy duty task for it here, 1 there. It'll do that, but it's not gonna do 10 of these. Does that make sense? It's gonna overheat on you. I forget how many it was. I have a video where I was trying to see the battery life I was gonna get out of this, and I drilled a whole bunch of 3/4 inch holes. And I think it started to overheat after like 10 or 15. And after that, it was a battle. Could barely get just a couple in a row. So that's where you're gonna be really limited on this thing. You can drive those 3 1/8 inch screws all day long, but you're not going to be, doing 1.5 inch holes over and over and over and over and over again. It's gonna overheat it. You'll get the flashing lights and you gotta take a break. So that's really the limitation. But they've gotten to a point where they've got so much power in such a small package that you can use this all day and still use it to take care of some of your bigger tasks. Like I said, there's a limit to those in terms of what you can control and just risk, but it's so good. Yeah, it's really good. Biggest complaints I have on this guy, honestly, is the max RPMs is 1550. And if you're drilling a lot of like pocket holes for like furniture making, you're going to notice that slower RPM. And it drills the pocket holes just fine. It goes fast, but that's something where I'm gonna go and grab a faster drill. As just an example, DCD 800 at 2000 RPMs makes a pretty big difference. Just trying to get through them all. Other complaints I have on this drill, that's just it. I really don't have other complaints. Milwaukee really knocked this one out of the park. Size, power, just feel. Oh, I do have one more complaint. So we've got the hammer drill function right there. I really dislike when it's just 1 detent over. It's still a very strong detent, and it's pretty rare that I'll accidentally go to hammer, but I like when there's a bigger gap to go over to hammer mode. I do accidentally go to hammer on occasion, not often, but it's not something I love, but that's just really a nitpick. So yeah, that's all I've got for today. If you're looking at this, I say go buy it. Have a good one. Bye.